5:01.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, thank you for coming.
Made it this time on time.
Turn your mic on, Paul.
Good idea. Well, they're lighting up. Looking good.
Yes.
Could we have a roll call for the meeting clerk?
Sure. Supervisor Bertrand.
I am here.
Clerk Byrne is here. Treasurer Hopp.
Here.
Trustee Detmer.
Present.
Trustee Monet.
Here.
All present.
Okay, so on this agenda, I left the board comments on there, if anybody's got anything to say. And the approval, even though there's only one thing on the agenda. So we'll go right to the board comments, if anybody has anything to say before we get into the agenda. For me, I have nothing.
Nope, nothing on the budget except a pat on the back for Pam.
All of that. Okay, hearing none. I will seek approval of the meeting agenda with additions or modifications. I have no additions or modifications.
Okay,
Does
well,
anybody else for this meeting?
are we
Not
making,
pertaining to the budget, but later on, yes.
Well, we already went through board comments. You're talking about later on in the second meeting?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, hearing none, I will make a motion that we approve the agenda as this is posted, a continuation.
second?
Okay, we have a second. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, we'll move forward. So all those in favor of approving the agenda as it is written here signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, the agenda, this is open to the public hearing. It's actually a continuation. So the purpose of this meeting is to continue receiving public input on the fiscal year 2026-2027 budget draft. So we started last week, opened the meeting, had no power, lots of problems. Here we are again today to continue it. So we can move right to public comment. If anybody has anything to say about this budget, now is the time to do it. There are copies on the table. There are copies of the proposed amendments, which are highlighted in yellow. As far as I'm concerned, even with the power outage, Pam has been diligently working on this and talking to all of the different department heads, coordinating, and has been for almost over a month. As always, budgets are continually have the potential to change and revolve. So this is where we are at today. I don't know if anybody here is the person who called about if this draft today was the final version. It is. This is after all the tweaks and anything that got done. So if anybody has comments, you can certainly make them. At this point, it is what it is. Not to say that we can't change it at any point in the time with a amendment to the budget. Please do it on the mic there, Pam. I know you were kind enough to come to this meeting to help explain anything or questions, and I greatly appreciate that. I know this stuff from 1,000 feet up. You know it, ground level.
My comment is how much I appreciate this entire board for working with me on all the ins and outs, the things they want more of, the things they want less, the pitched in, maintenance has been involved too, and I just want to say thank you guys. You've done a great job working with me to get these numbers right. And that's it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Come right up. The microphone won't pick you up from, that far away, so it's easier to use that way.
My first question is it just comment or can we ask questions?
Either one.
Okay. Sometimes
I'm
people
not,
get
you know,
quite
I-
literal about just comments.
Hopefully the
right?
answers can come to,
And I think I'm supposed to say my name and where I'm from.
yes, if you would, please.
I am Mary Jane Dolan. I'm Lyon Township permanent or full-time. And looking through it, I have two questions, probably more, but two to start with. And the grant match and the capital improvements, those are large increases in 26, 27 versus 25. I'm just wondering what they are.
The allocation for the money is, for matching grants is a considerable amount of money. It does not increase your taxes or anything like that. The millage is the same every year as far as that goes, so it's not an increase. It is to match a 25% match on one grant application and a 50% match on another one, both of which improve the odds of getting them. The money was in the fund, has been for a couple of years, not a lot of money was spent. As we worked through this process with the Parks and Rec Board and got the applications for the grants, it was approved that we use the money to match. So if we receive the grant, we basically have to prove to them, yeah, we have this much money and it's available to use for that. So it shows up in the budget in that sense, anyway. Pam may be able to explain more in regards to,
So if you'll notice in the revenue, it includes the revenue in case we increase that grant and the expense.
So do we just have to show that we have the funds or do we plan to spend the funds?
in order to receive any kind of a grant, in order to receive anything, initially, we have to say, okay, we can do a match on this of 25%, and we're showing them we do have this money. At that point, then they consider us, along with a lot of other people who are trying to get the money. But it certainly helps. The one for the 50% match, I believe that was 25, 30 extra points on the application. Of course, if you're going to use your own money. But at the same time, spending money to make money for a good product in the end, I have no problem with that. The Parks and Rec millage is exactly for improvements and maintenance on parks and recreation and cemetery. That's me, anyway. I don't know if that answered your question, but
Not entirely, because that was two things. It was an or question. Is it just showing that we have the money to match, or do we intend to spend it when we receive the grants?
if we receive the grant, the intent is to use it for the match for the grant. If we don't get the grant, then it won't be used. It'll just be there. It'll pretty much go into stay there until some other purpose comes up that the board, Parks and Rec and the board approves to use that money.
And the projects that are earmarked to be used for, what are those?
DNR, one is a DNR and one is my parks. Am I right on that?
Yeah, the one is for
San Rosat.
Park.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
The other one's
we've
DNR.
had several public, I'm sorry. One is for
Yeah, we got
Somerset
about
Park
6
for
of
the
these.
equipment and other things that are there. And then the other one is for an asphalt path through Park 27 with a few exercise equipment things throughout there. It's not a super long path, but it's perfect for people that need to walk, that want to walk, and people that want to take their kids around for a walk. It's, yeah.
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about where it was coming from. Yeah, I do know, I mean, Samoset is a complete renovation of all the equipment. Park 27 is this walking path, and the stations are pretty much for kids or young adults, and they're challenge stations rather than exercise stations for adults, in hopes of trying to make this thing stand out as something different around here. Markey Township has a nice, great park and walking path, and there's another one on the North State Park that are both geared for adults. We're trying to come in the packet to be inclusive. One of the stations will be a swing for wheelchairs. And the rest of them they'll be challenge oriented, not just, they all have a bench where parents can sit there and video their kids or their grandkids.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, to do a 6-foot asphalt path is pretty expensive. But it's a good use of the money. To me, I'm all about the kids, if we can do stuff for the kids. Now, what I see there, and I see at Markey, is grandparents are taking kids out there. So ours would be not as long as Markey's. I have to create a maintenance plan for it, and I do have the ability to do that. We have to prove to them that if they give us this money for this stuff, not only do we have a matching money, do we know what we're doing to take care of it going forward? And I do, so that'll be part of the application.
So if I can chime in here, thank you. On page 22, you'll see the grant match for $125,000. That's the only thing that comes out of the millage. What you're seeing on page 19, the 225 is money coming in under state grants.
Oh, okay, I was looking at the row on 22 also, right underneath the grant match.
The capital improvements,
Yeah.
yeah, that's that 225. Would be this money coming in from the state grants, if they're approved.
Okay, so like you said, the budget is confusing because they're both positive numbers. They're not-
Exactly, yep.
Because I would have thought they were both expenditures from.
No.
Right, I just. would've-
Yeah.
Government accounting.
Yeah. Those were the two biggest ones that I had questions about. And I guess the other generic question is, I don't remember where I saw it or read it, was there a concern with any of this with something about setting a millage rate related to the fire department?
The fire
Did I read
department
that
millage
somewhere?
wouldn't have anything to do with this.
No, not
No.
with this, with the overall budget. I thought I read a comment on the
Oh, well,
township's website.
we have 2 millages for the fire department. One of them is up in November, I believe, and the other one the following.
Okay. So in this budget, the numbers that are in here,
Well, the
do
numbers
they
that are in there
require any
reflect,
millage changes to fund them?
That'd have to go for voter approval.
Right.
yeah, if
Yeah,
we,
yeah. So not that I'm aware of.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's my
yeah.
question.
No,
Since there was a comment, somewhere I read a comment
yeah.
on the township's website about, or maybe the Facebook page, about
could have been,
millage
well,
related to the fire department.
yeah, the township website usually doesn't accept any comments. It's just pushing information.
Yeah, the same thing with the Facebook.
But yeah,
page,
no,
the
there's a
way
lot
it's set
of,
up.
questions are good. This is not a change in the fire department budget, and if, like Mr. Monet said, that would have to be voted on. And I believe next year's one, following year is the other. And we are hoping to have the fire department looking really good by the time those come up.
All right, that was the questions I had from reviewing it.
Well,
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. Do you have any young children you'd take out in this park in 2 years if we can get
I
her?
have 3 single daughters, but no grandkids.
Oh, well,
Bill Cleves, Lyon Township. If you guys looked into the fire plan, they give grants to townships, and we've been a member of the fire plan for almost 40 years.
Yeah, I can't keep, well, we hired Amanda Wachinski to be our grant consultant and writer, so she found opportunities here, there, and everywhere. I don't want to say most, a lot of them are power plant. Some DNR, but recently we got the liner for the ice rink, got a grant for some trees and also for, what's the third one? Oh, actually four. A life-saving, like lifeguard, life jacket station. And then another one that we were one of only 14 communities that were selected to, they will sponsor like a seminar or put on a seminar about invasive species, and they'll do it at one of our waterfront parks.
What was the name, Bill, you said, of
Power
that
plant?
fire plan?
Har.
Park, PAR,
Par.
you know about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you
That's
should,
the one that we applied for the cameras.
They love it when you put 40 years on. You've been a member for 40 years when you put in for a grant.
Yeah, definitely, we should be looking
And
at
you can do that one right online.
Yeah, we did that one
Just
Did it?
for
Cool.
cameras.
yeah, that, we got our fingers out there in 6, 7, 8 things right now.
Oh, there's a bunch of grants out there.
You know, to me, if you can get money, get it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no, I don't really know why they didn't push real hard in the last few years to try and get all these things, but it didn't happen, so.
I got a bunch of power grants when I was in the fire
Yeah,
department.
Well, anytime we get something through PAR, I get it because I go to these, I want to call them conventions, but they're not really conferences. That's the right name. And so this stuff comes through me. I send everything on to Amanda, and she says, thank you. Some she's gotten, some she hasn't.
I don't know if JC remembers, but I think this is a year for our risk carrier to come. Check.
he was just here.
Was he?
Yeah.
Who'd you have? Do you remember?
Michael,
Okay, yeah.
last name escapes me.
Starts with a G. I used to be on that board.
We won't get that result back for 6 weeks,
Go, yeah.
easily.
And I told JC, you gotta set in on that, because you're the biggest liability of the township.
He was there. JC and I and Michael met for a couple of hours, then went out and looked at all the equipment, and he gathered the information. He did share that it is not their business to tell you you can and cannot do anything. They gather information, and this won't surprise you. They pass it on to insurance companies, but the insurance companies have to pay. So that's their angle.
And
You
they
need to
used
join
fight-
this club in
I
order
used
to
to
get
fight with the fire department all the time about getting education for your officers. And they would say, we highly suggest it, we highly suggest it. Then they just quit saying it. They just raise your rates.
We'll see what it says. It's not going to be quick. And
No.
I will also, he will give me access to a website where I can compare our ratings to other similar sized places, or townships or communities. And when it comes, we'll look, you know.
Okay.
We'd sure like to have 20 members of that department. That would help a lot of our problems.
Oh, yeah, I know it.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Everybody's got the same problem.
They do. And
Thanks, Bill.
we're heading in a direction to start working on it. Have been for a while.
Good.
Yeah, the ISO rating was kind of like, let's see what they say and we'll go from there.
Does that mean you're coming back? No,
Well, we'll get them a new suit.
yeah.
Hello,
Hello, Terry.
Terry
Hello.
Cleaves, Lyon Township. Just first question I have is, these amended budgets for the 25-26, they've already been incorporated on this, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you might have said it before I got here, so I wasn't sure. A couple questions on the actual budget is, on other federal grants, it's on your page 2 of 27, underline 101-000528. other federal grants. I recall, I believe, back in the previous budgets, that was ARPA money. And it looks like you have an amended budget for 25-26 for 20,000. You probably did not get the ARPA money that year, I'm thinking. But in this new budget, it's back up to 80,000. Do you have other federal grants that you're going for, or are you planning on, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what grant money that is.
Wasn't it 20,000 was, we did the road and we got that money back in 20?
For the
Five?
amended budget?
Yeah,
So for this year's budget, it shows back up to the 800,000.
80,000.
I'm sorry, 8,000. 80,000.
Yeah, 80,000.
I can
Yeah,
get the,
yeah.
We'll settle on
the
some
number
number
that it
here.
shows there. And I'm just trying to figure out what federal grants you guys are working on, or is that something that might need to be adjusted out? Because I know you won't be receiving ARPA money.
No, it's certainly not ARPA money. Is there,
I know Amanda's working on a lot of grants.
Yeah.
I know we have other areas that it's a potential for federal grants, and a state grant, like for the ice storm we just got, there's a potential
Sure.
for reimbursement for that.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
so when you,
Obviously, a budget is a work in progress.
I understand that, I'm just,
Unfortunately, we don't get that. We'll have to do some amendments.
so on this, if so this is, we're basing this 80,000 on a grant. We're not, the township's not forking out the $80,000 like.
no, this
Yeah.
is money coming in, this is a revenue line.
Yeah.
So, yes, it would be money coming in. I'm sorry.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Yes,
But Terry, I'd like to clear something up for you, if I may. So, and I had brought this up once before. The amended budget amounts for 2025 to 26, although they're included in the final draft, and the board can correct me here, we've never voted on this, you guys.
No, that was just,
So,
if you guys decide not to do these proposed budget
Okay.
amendments, I can change that.
okay, I just want to clarify that it's on there, but it has not been voted
No.
for yet,
No,
just so
that's-
you're aware.
it is our.
So that this paperwork looks with the better numbers in it is why, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so they haven't been, the amended budget for
Hasn't been
25, 26 has not been approved.
Exactly,
But it is in here to show
Correct.
what you're going to do.
correct.
I
Exactly.
can understand
Yes,
that.
yep,
And it's,
yep.
it'll come up
Yeah.
at 7 o'clock tonight as to what we're gonna do.
Right. So that 80,000 is, you don't have any working federal grants at the moment?
At the moment, no.
It's just money that you put in there in the
It's money
event?
that they put in that consistently at other times. I'm just hopeful.
Okay. So that, just getting it today, thank you for having it available for us. That's all I have right now because it's gonna take me some time to get through it, so.
It wasn't on the site?
It was originally, but someone's taken it down and it's not there, no.
Why would it be down?
It only shows the approved budgets at this time, unless I'm looking in the wrong place. I mean, where it was with the approved, or the budget tab, I guess you would call it, where you showed your approved budgets, and then it showed proposed budget underneath those.
Okay.
That is no longer there.
That's odd.
And that's why I didn't know, because luckily I printed it before it disappeared, so I can
Yeah.
go in and take a look and see.
I thought it was a notice that you could then click on to go right to it. You know, like
Yes,
the
one-
webpage
it
would have been
was.
a notice. Did
It
you find
was.
it that way?
Yes. Yes, and I found it too and actually got it printed, but I went back to see if they had amended it because you can amend through all your work sessions.
Yeah.
And it was completely gone, so it was
Oh, that's
nice.
new.
Well, we can go on a phone
Appreciate
and
it.
see that it's not there.
No, I mean, if it happened, I can certainly look into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, I believe you must have called then because I talked with Ann about this.
No,
We
I
put-
did not call.
Well, somebody did about the same thing. we put the draft out there, but we're not gonna update the draft as we're working on it like daily. So this is the final product here. The draft is what we had to work on.
Yeah, and that's fine and good. I'm just saying that I wanted to see that the one that you finally came up with was where you had started, what's going, what changed. It's just I'm a numbers gal.
I thought it
So
should
for
have
me,
been.
it's something I like to
I'm
look
sure
at.
we were even changing numbers today, right?
Yeah, well, you can change until the moment you
So
vote.
I never crossed my mind to try and do an update of it daily, because whatever we updated could change, and whatever was there originally could change. But I get your point.
Right, and then with the, like, putting the 80,000 in there and you're not, and you don't have a grant, you can always add revenues too, and not put it out there where we really don't know what it is. That's why I asked. All right, thank you.
So is it better to put it at 0?
Well, if you don't know what it goes to,
I mean,
my preference doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, it's what you guys want. For me, it would be, I wouldn't want it in the budget unless I knew it was monies that were coming in for sure. That's where the ever-changing adjustments can come in if in the event it does come in. Because at the end of the year, you're gonna end up having to do that amendment budget now, because if you don't get it, because
Yeah.
it'll be 0, you know what I mean? Or like you did the one you did adjust. I guess I'm trying to say it right, but if it's
Yeah.
money that you don't know where it's coming from,
I'm
You
okay
might-
with it, with the way it is, but
well,
thanks.
it looks good.
I
But you
have,
don't
since
know
this
what it's
started, I
for.
said padded high. I don't care, we have the money, we consulted with a CPA firm that agreed. We have money, so we don't have to try and cut a narrow line. If we are over, that just makes less amendments that we would have to, doesn't mean we're spending it.
Oh, I understand that.
Yeah.
I totally understand it.
So maybe,
When
I don't
I
know
look
if,
at it as a resident, I'm thinking, oh, they're going for a federal grant of 80,000, wonder what it's about,
I'm
and
sure
then-
that, the grants are gonna include fire department stuff. Right now, there was deadlines we had to meet for the ones for the parks, for, M-Parks and the DNR. Go,
Yeah,
as fast as
that's
we hear
fine.
about
To me,
it.
it's just a number out in the air that you're putting out there, but you guys can do it your way. You are the board. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Is it not there?
No, it's not.
That's,
It hasn't been for a couple of weeks.
Right, what I have on my computer is when I opened it the last week's meeting.
yeah. It wasn't there last week either?
It was there last week, along with the proposed agenda. But if you look at 318 and 325 now, 325 has a proposed agenda, but no attachment for the draft budget. 318 posting has neither the proposed agenda or the budget attached to it. Both attachments have been removed.
Yeah, they shouldn't have even been in, it should have just
Wow.
been in the notice, but, well, thank you. I have to
Yeah.
figure out what's going on with that. Okay, is there any other public comment?
When would you like us, I'm just curious, excuse me, to bring up?
Speak up, sir.
Okay, when would you like us to bring up something that I see some number issues wrong? If we're voting on this later, there's some,
This is public input.
yeah, I know.
I would say at the second meeting, if you have some.
Okay. Well, I just didn't want to get us voting on this one. Okay. Wasn't sure.
Basically,
I know it's for you guys.
no, well, I mean, it's their chance to speak their piece in it, and it's our chance to consider what you're saying.
Yep.
And there's no guarantee we'll pass it at 7, but we'll see what happens. Certainly, if you have, that'd be the time to do it. If there's no other public comment, I'm going to make a motion that we adjourn this meeting. I believe that was a second down there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any discussion on that? See the glare.
It's not right now.
Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of adjourning this meeting signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right?
And oppose the same. Okay, adjourned at
5:31.
5:31. Well, thank you for coming. Appreciate it.